My mom inspires me. I'm the woman that I am today because of how she raised me and how she pushed me to be independent. My childhood was great. I was born premature and I developed cerebral palsy. I've been a full-time wheelchair user my whole life. Unfortunately, me and my family have never lived anywhere that is completely accessible to me. But now, growing up and older, I'm looking back on things and I'm like, man, that must have been tough for like my mom or my family to have to like lift me in my wheelchair into the home every day. So I've never had that experience. So I'm looking forward to, when I move into this home, experiencing an accessible home that I'm comfortable in and I don't have to make do with. I'm majoring in mass communications at Chattanooga State with plans to transfer over to UTC when I finish. So once I get moved into the house and I have like kind of my own little space and I'll have an extra bedroom, I'm excited to be able to use that as an at-home office. When I was accepted in the program, I was super excited. I cried. Like every milestone I have with Habitat, like I have to get off the phone and like go sob. It's just an opportunity that I never thought I would have. Homeownership is important to me because I will probably have this home paid off by the time I'm ready to retire. So having that and knowing that just gives me a lot of comfort that I know that I'll always have a roof over my head. It took me over 6 months to find the apartment that I'm living in now, and it is still not accessible enough for me. I still struggle with getting in the door, the ramp isn't built properly, and my kitchen isn't accessible and it's like this narrow, so it's very difficult for me to cook. I'm excited to have an accessible kitchen and I hope that everybody holds me to it for cooking and stuff, now that I won't have an excuse to be so lazy when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I have a feeling that things are going to be way easier than I ever realized, now that I'm like, oh, I can actually reach that and I'm not having to like really stretch, or I'm not having to put things in weird places. I do have friends with disabilities and I always felt uncomfortable like inviting them to my space now because I make do in it, but I don't know how they're gonna make do in it, and I don't want it to be one of those things where they don't feel comfortable in the space. So now I'll be able to invite those friends over and know that they'll be able to use the bathroom, they'll be able to get in the door, they'll be, and I won't feel like it's such an inconvenience for them to come and visit. I think it's great that I can bring some disability representation to this program and to this process. I know that other disabled people have gone through this program before, but I love that I'm able to bring awareness to that's an option. Habitat has experience with making homes accessible, and I've mentioned before, that's another reason why I'm excited for this process, because if I were to go out and just build a home on my own, first of all, I wouldn't be able to afford it. But also, I wouldn't know what I need to do to make that accessible to me until I got moved into the house and was like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. But Habitat, since they're used to building those types of homes for people, they're gonna show me things or think of things that I wouldn't have even thought of. So that's why this is such a good idea, it's just such a good privilege for me. I was very honored to be picked as the Women's Build homeowner, and I know that it's a privilege, and I just think that's so wonderful that my home is going to be a symbol of women supporting a woman. Well, I definitely wanted to say thank you so much for everyone that's involved with this, all the women that are going to be volunteering. I'm so appreciative of this. I know that this is an honor and a privilege. And I'm just super excited to meet the volunteers and, to go along in this journey with them.